So you've probably heard about this by now. There is a vegan man who is suing Burger King. He is saying that their burger isn't actually meat-free, which they do say it is. Their advertisement is 100% Whopper, 0% beef. And he's saying that, well, the Whopper is cooked on the same device, the same grill as regular beef burgers. So it is being contaminated by beef and actually does contain some animal byproducts. His main complaint seems to be that there isn't enough disclosure. It isn't obvious enough. There's no signage disclosing the fact that they are cooked on the same broiler, right? It's on the website in a little footnote, and they've said it elsewhere. He's saying that it's deceptive. He believed the burger he ordered, sans mayonnaise, was meat-free, but instead felt duped by Burger King. Burger King hasn't responded. A spokesperson just said, "We do not comment on pending litigation." So you're probably not surprised when I say that I'm not a huge fan of this for several reasons. Number one, Burger King, to my knowledge, has never, ever, ever claimed that the Impossible Whopper is vegan. In fact, as I read, he had to get it without mayonnaise, right? It comes as just the standard Whopper. If you say, I want an Impossible Whopper, it comes with mayonnaise on it. In the advertising, again, they say that it's 100% Whopper and 0% beef. But again, they've also said that, look, you have to request it. If you don't want the burger cooked on the same grill, you have to request a non-broiler method, which, what does that mean? Does that mean microwave? I'm sure that's real delicious. So yeah, this isn't new information. Vegans have been talking about this for months now, and many people saying that, oh, they're not going to eat there, and it's not vegan because it is cooked on the same grill. Now, this incident apparently happened in August, which was a few months ago, obviously, but the earliest record I found of Burger King talking about the preparation methods was August 1st. I think the CEO or a spokesperson or someone from Burger King was interviewed by Bloomberg, where they said, again, that you have to request that you want the burger cooked elsewhere, not on the same grill. Yeah, there were lots of articles coming out early August. Burger King's Impossible Whopper may not be vegan friendly, why Burger King's new Impossible Whopper isn't totally vegetarian. So this is nothing new. And not only is it not new for Burger King, but it's not new for like any restaurant, right? Any fast food establishment particularly, but even most restaurants. I mean, this is something that vegans have been debating about for a long time now, whether or not food that is cooked like on the same grill, so a veggie burger that's cooked on the same grill as a beef burger, is actually vegan. I've talked about it several times on this channel, saying that it is vegan. Veganism is a philosophy. It's not just a diet, right? It's about supporting cruelty and doing what you can to avoid supporting cruelty. Buying a vegan burger that is then cooked on the same grill as a beef burger that you didn't pay for, that someone else paid for, is not supporting the beef industry. If you just don't want to eat a burger that is covered in beef, then that's totally fine, but that's no longer an ethical issue. That's just a personal, taste issue. Basically, I think that we should always assume, at least I do, I always assume that if I am ordering something at a non-vegan establishment, that my food is going to come into contact with non-vegan foods. So that's why I think this lawsuit is so silly. Burger King never said that the Whopper was vegan. They said it was 100% Whopper and 0% beef, which for a lot of vegans is totally fine. Again, a lot of us don't think that it's a problem for it to be cooked on the same grill. And number two, we've known for a long time that restaurants cook things on the same grills. I mean, again, it's kind of something that you should expect. And then number three, Burger King has been upfront. It's not like they've been lying and saying, no, every single one is cooked in a separate apparatus, is cooked in the microwave or whatever, and then you find out, oh, that's not true. That would be a different story, but that's just not what's happening here. To be clear, I don't think this really matters much at the end of the day because I don't think this lawsuit is really going to go anywhere. It seems very similar to this case from November of 2016 when a woman sued Buffalo Wild Wings, saying that they didn't disclose that the French fries and the mozzarella sticks had been cooked in beef tallow. The case was dismissed because the judge said, look, you can't prove that this actually harmed you, that by cooking the French fries and the mozzarella sticks in the beef that it harmed you. So to have a case thrown out where supposedly they didn't disclose it, they didn't have it anywhere that it was cooked in beef versus Burger King actually saying, yeah, it's cooked on the same grill. And to have a case like that thrown out, I would say there's a fairly good chance that this case, if it actually goes anywhere, is going to be dismissed. A case that did actually go somewhere, and this makes total sense to me, was back in 2001, McDonald's was sued by some Hindus as well as vegetarians for supposedly claiming that their French fries were vegetarian. Now, McDonald's says that they never claimed that. I mean, I can't see back in 2001 them saying that the fries are vegetarian, but it could have been just something that was spread around. Maybe some employees were asked and said that they were, something like that. But certainly a lot of people thought that they were vegetarian after McDonald's switched out their cooking oil for vegetable oil. Unfortunately, as we know now, at least in the US, McDonald's uses a beef flavoring on the fries, and this is not something that's even in the cooking oil. It is something that is added to the fries before they even get to the restaurant. And this is why McDonald's French fries in the US, again, other places, they don't do that, but in the US, they are not vegan. So again, a lot of people thought that they were. They ended up eating them. Of course, for Hindus, this is a big sin, right? Because cows are considered sacred. Eventually, McDonald's apologized, even though they said they never said that the fries were vegetarian. They apologized, and they ended up donating $10 million to vegetarian and Hindu groups. So that is a completely different case to me. I don't think that legally McDonald's did anything wrong, because you are allowed to say natural flavorings and have animal products like beef as part of those natural flavorings. You don't have to disclose that there is beef there. But obviously they did the right thing by saying, sorry about that, and we're going to donate a bunch of money. It's obviously a much different situation when you're talking about not having that transparency, people not knowing what is in food, thinking that it's vegan, thinking that it doesn't have beef in it when it really does. Versus, again, Burger King being upfront, yeah, there's going to be some amount of animal byproducts on the burger. And going back to the Burger King lawsuit, I do wonder that if something like this keeps happening, what kind of message does that send to companies, to corporations like Burger King and McDonald's and Wendy's and whatever? I mean, are they going to take the risk on plant-based foods if they're constantly being sued? Now, I don't think that's actually going to happen, but I suppose it's possible. So that is kind of another negative. Again, I think the main reasons not to do it is that there wasn't really any harm done, and it's something that they were upfront about. Maybe not as much upfront as you would like, talking about the guy who's suing, but clearly they weren't trying to hide this information. And I do agree with Jenny Messina that lawsuits like these make vegans look ridiculous, and they distract from the real message that we're trying to send, that eating animals is morally wrong, that it's bad for the environment, and that we want everyone to have the option to easily and affordably choose to refrain from supporting such a terrible industry. Corporations like Burger King make that a reality for a lot of people. Obviously, we have a long way to go, but every new veggie burger, every new veggie nugget, whatever that's offered brings us just that little bit closer. Suing these companies because their offerings didn't pass your purity test is a step in the wrong direction, and I think it says a whole lot more about you, about the person suing, than it does about Burger King. And look, the Impossible Whopper, at least right now, seems to be a success. According to the company that owns Burger King, they had a really successful quarter, and they think it's because of the Impossible Whopper. Just to be clear, I have no problem with vegans, again, avoiding to eat burgers or anything else that's cooked on the same grill or cooked in the same oil as non-vegan foods. I understand why people would not want to do that for taste reasons, or even just because maybe it just feels wrong to you. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Clearly, the problem that I have is, number one, broadcasting these beliefs as inherently vegan, or, not doing that, having foods that are cooked on the same grill and eating those foods, saying that that is inherently not vegan. That's what I have a problem with. And obviously suing companies because you have that particular belief is pretty ridiculous. I also have no problem with vegans or anyone else just entirely avoiding chains like Burger King or McDonald's or whatever else. And, maybe just choosing to exclusively buy from vegan brands like Tofurky and Miyoko's. I love supporting those brands if I like the foods, not just because I like the foods, but I mean, especially a company like Tofurky, they've been around for so long. I mean, it was a big risk. It was a big risk for a lot of these companies to try and make these foods and to try to make a living when so few people wanted those foods. I mean, someone had to step up and do it. Someone had to go, dang it, I want vegan deli slices and they don't exist. I guess I'll make them. It's awesome. And so I totally understand people just wanting to support 100% vegan companies when they're buying things like mock meats and cheeses and stuff like that. I personally haven't eaten at Burger King in I don't even know how long. I haven't eaten an Impossible Whopper. I haven't tried the Impossible Burger. There are tons of places that sell it around here. I'm just not particularly interested. Maybe one day. I'm really afraid that it's going to make me throw up. I don't want to throw up. But again, there's a difference between having that personal preference and saying that personal preference is actually universal and is actually an ethical issue, that you are doing something wrong or something not vegan by buying something from Burger King. Or even Gardein. I've seen Gardein labeled as not vegan because of the parent company issue. I think I have a whole video on parent companies. Again, no issue if you don't want to buy Gardein, fine. But broadcasting that and saying that that's the only way and that if you buy Gardein tenders or whatever, that you're not vegan, like, get out of here. So yeah, that's it. I think it's pretty clearly ridiculous. I can think of a lot of cases where it wouldn't be, again, where a company is not being transparent, is saying one thing and doing another, right? Saying something is vegan when it's actually not, and they know it's not vegan. That, in my mind, is a pretty clear example of, yeah, sue their asses, get them. But this or something accidental, maybe an employee accidentally serves you the beef burger, the beef Whopper instead of the Impossible Whopper. Yeah, that's another case of like, it's an accident. You don't sue over stuff like that. But, if it turns out that actually the Impossible Whopper, they're not really using the Impossible Burgers and really they're, I don't know, cutting it with a bunch of beef or something. Yeah, sue their asses. To be clear, I don't think that's what's happening. I think we would know that by now, but I don't think the Impossible Burger is like that incredible. I think people would be like, wait, something's wrong here. Or maybe not. Have I talked about that before? Well, they were like consistently known as having the like best veggie burgers in my area. And then I finally had one and I was like, oh yeah, it's good. It's good because they're obviously cooking it on the same grill and there's obviously like a lot of beef fat on that grill. And so yeah, it tastes really special and not like a veggie burger because it's covered in meat. So maybe sometimes we really can't tell. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, support the channel, patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. And I will have a new video soon because I'm about to record another one that should be pretty fun. Oh, I have earrings in. You know how little kids will just like say anything like, I got a haircut, I have earrings, I have purple pants. That's how I felt right now. But I've had my ears pierced since I was very young. I mean, I don't know, 12 or something. I think that's kind of around the age when girls typically get their ears pierced. I don't know. It was done at like a Claire's or a Limited 2, one of those places in the mall, probably done by like a 16-year-old kid. I stopped wearing earrings like forever ago and like randomly I'll put them in, but there were years where I didn't wear them. And I thought like the holes would close up. Like I thought that's what happens, but nah, man. Even this one up here, which I never wear anything in because it hurts like a bitch now. It just turns red and like throbs. It's awful. But I can still, if I take an earring, I can still punch it through there. It just never closed up. So I feel like that's the universe telling me that I need to wear earrings. These are like on sale at like Fred Meyer for $3 or something. And my toddler was like, ooh. And I was like, all right, I'll get them. And they get all excited. I've got these little pink ones. They're like the, really, really cheap, but I've got these little pink flower ones that they really like. I mean, I still really, really like piercings, certain piercings, but I mean, I used to want like all the way up my ear. I wanted this little thing pierced. I used to know what it was called. I wanted eyebrow piercing. I never really liked the nose or like mouth piercings, but yeah, man, I was always set on getting those. And then it's like, once I reached that age, it's like, I don't like pain. And the same with tattoos. I always wanted a full sleeve. I love the way that looks. It's so awesome. But pain? Nah. And also money. Like I don't even know how expensive that would be, but I'm pretty sure pretty expensive. And what would I even get? Like what do you get tattooed? There's nothing in the world that I love enough to get tattooed on my arm. I mean, look, I love my kids, but do I want them on my arm? It's weird, I think usually I see like some pretty flowers or something, but I don't give a shit about flowers. Like, what the hell would I even get? I have no idea. It would be a bunch of stupid stuff that I would regret in like a year. I'll just get ugly soy bitch. Just huge. Like, what's his name? Moby, didn't he just get animal rights? I'll just get ugly soy bitch. It's hot.